Hi everyone, my name is Esther Piri. I'm in 12B and I'm here to do a question under durations and functions coming from 2017 internal past paper. The functions f and g are defined by f of x is equal to 2x plus 1 and gx is equal to 5x minus 1. Then we have a here which says find g inverse of x. So now to find g inverse of x, we are going to bring down the function which is gx and not fx, because our question here it's specific, it's talking about g inverse of x and not f inverse of x. So we're going to write our gx down, which is gx is equal to 5x minus 1. So now, to find g inverse of x, where there is gx, we're going to replace g inverse of x, which will be like this. Yes, then 5x minus 1. Yes, so now, g inverse of x is found by substituting this g inverse of x by y and making x the subject of the formula. Substituting g inverse of x by 1 and making x the subject of the formula. And it will look like this. It will be y is equal to 5x minus 1. Then we are going to make this x to the subject of the formula. Then we found our g inverse of x. So it will be like this. It will be y. This 1 has to cross the equal sign to remain with 5x this side, so that we can be able to make x the subject of the formula. So now, when negative 1 crosses the equal sign, it will be positive 1 is equal to, this side we are going to remain with 5x. We've not yet succeeded in making x the subject, we still have 5. Again, this 5 has to go to the other side. How? By not crossing the equal sign, but dividing both sides, because here there is multiplication and it's not minus or plus. So now you're going to say over 5, over 5, over 5, this is 5. Then cancel, cancel. Then you're going to have y plus 1 over 5, which is equal to x. Therefore, we are going to replace this x by putting g inverse of x, because our question is saying find g inverse of x and not find x. So where there is x, we're going to put our g inverse of x to show that we are finding g inverse of x is equal to, we are going to bring this down, which is y plus 1 over 5. Not yet. This y has to be removed from our g inverse of x. Replacing where there is y, we bring back x. So it's going to be g inverse of x is equal to, where there is y, we put x plus 1 over 5. This is our final answer. We found our g inverse of x. The next question is saying, so this is A. The number B, it's saying find f of g of x. So B, we are going to bring down our f g of x down. Then now it's saying find f of g of x. To find f of g of x, we are going to get the function fx, which is it here. Then replace where there is x by putting g of x in this function. So we're going to bring down our fx down. Before we start solving, we bring our fx down, which is 2x plus 1. Then in the same function, we replace where there is x by putting 5x minus 1. So it will be, so our fg of x is equal to, where there is x, we put our function 5x minus 1, which is the g of x. So now it's going to be 2 open bracket, where there is x, we put 5x minus 1, close bracket, then plus 1. Not yet done, we have to simplify this. It will be, this is f g of x is equal to, we multiply 2 times 5, which is 10x, then 2 times 1, which will be negative 2, and plus 1. Not yet done, it's not in a simplest form, we have to simplify it further. Then it's going to be 10x can't subtract or add to 2 plus 1 because they are unlike terms, but 2 and 1 they are like terms, they can either add or subtract. So we're going to bring our 10x down here, then it's going to be negative 2 plus 1, which will be negative 1. Then we found our f of g of x. This is our final answer. Then lastly, we are going to find our f of g of negative 3, which is, lastly we are going to find c, which is saying find c, which is f of g of negative 3. If you've observed something, b and c, they are connected. They are the same, but the difference is that where there is x, in the next question they have put negative 3. So this simply tells us that in the f of g of x, we have to place where there is x, we put negative 3. Also, then we found our f of g of negative 3. It will be like this. So we are going to bring our f of g of x down, then we place where there is x with negative 3. So it's going to be f of g of negative 3 is equal to 10x minus 1. Then our f of g of negative 3 will be equal to, where there is x, we put negative 3. So now it's going to be 10, where there is x, we put negative 3 minus 1. Then our f of g of negative 3 will be equal to 10 times negative 3, which is negative 30 minus 1. Then f of g of negative 3 will be equal to negative 30 minus 1, which is negative 31. Then we have succeeded in finding our f of g of negative 3. Our gx is equal to x minus 1 over 2. For us to find g inverse of x, we are going to replace where there is For us to find g inverse of x, we are going to replace gx by putting g inverse of x here where there is gx. So we are going to get our g inverse of x, which is our question that we've been asked to solve, is equal to x minus 1 over 2. We've not yet found the actual answer. Now, to find g inverse of x, we have to replace this g inverse of x by putting y. So, when we put our y here, x minus 1 over 2. After replacing g inverse of x with y, we are going to cross multiply. This side, we know that there is an invisible one. So we are going to cross multiply like this. Then we are going to have x minus 1 is equal to 2 times y, which will be 2y. Then after doing so, we are going to move negative 1 to the other side so that we can remain with x alone. So it's going to be x is equal to 2y, we bring it the way it is. Then this negative 1 is going to change to positive 1. For we know that when a number crosses the equal sign, the sign that it is carrying changes. So it's going to be x is equal to, where there is y, we put x. Yes, like this. Then afterwards, where there is x, for our question is saying find g inverse of x. So you have to get this to show that we are finding g inverse of x. So we are going to replace this x by putting g inverse of x. So it's going to be g inverse of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Then we found our g inverse of x. We go to the next question, which says find x if fx is equal to gx. So meaning this simply means that gx, which is neg x minus 1 over 2, is equal to f of x, which is 3x minus 5, like this. So meaning this simply means that this and this, we should equate them because they are equal. So we are going to get our g of x, which will be x minus 1 over 2. We equate it to f of x, which is 3x minus 5. Then we cross multiply. Then this will be x minus 1 is equal to 2 open bracket 3x minus 5 cross bracket. Then this will be x minus 1 is equal to 2 times 3, which is 6x, and 2 times 5, which is negative 10. We are going to correct the like names so that we can finalize our question. So now, this side we have x, and this side we have 6x. So 6x is alike to x. So this one is going to cross the equal sign, which will be negative 6x is equal to negative 10. Then we have negative 1 here, which is similar to 10. So it's going to cross also, and its sign will change to positive 1. So this will be x minus 6x, which will be negative 5x is equal to negative 10 plus 1 is equal to negative 9. So to remain with x, this side alone, we are going to divide both sides by negative 5, which will be negative 5, negative 5. We cancel negative 5 and negative 5. We are going to remain with x is equal to, the negatives cancels, they are going to have 9 over 5. So now, we know that 9 or 5 can go into 9. So we have to divide by simply saying 5 into 9, which is 1, remainder 4 over 5. Then this is the value of x. We found the value of x by equating f of x to g of x. So now, our last question is saying find g inverse of fx. This simply means that our g inverse of x, the one we found here, we have to replace this x by substituting f of x in g inverse of x. It's going to be like this. So we get our g inverse of x to x plus 1. Then they've said g inverse of x. So meaning fx should come inside the g inverse of x. So meaning where there is x, we are going to put f of x. So it's going to be g inverse of fx is equal to, where there is x, we put the values for f of x. So it's going to be like, open bracket, where there is x, we put 3x minus 5 plus 1. Then our g inverse of fx is equal to 2 times 3, we have our 6x, then 2 times 5, we have negative 10 plus 1. Then g inverse of fx is equal to, we bring our 6x down because it's a like term to these two. So negative 10 plus 1, which will be negative 9. Then we found our g inverse of fx.